What's up, EFD squad, and welcome back to Scout Report. With Real Madrid currently struggling to find the form that saw them dominate European football for so many years, here are 5 things the Spanish giants can do to get back to the very top of the game. 5. Get Hazard firing. A good place to start with this Real Madrid side is the fact they simply aren't performing well enough in front of goal. This campaign, they are averaging 1.8 expected goals a game, which is actually an improvement on the 1.7 they sustained throughout 2018-19. But when you consider that was Los Blancos' worst scoring season since 2000, this is hardly a meaningful progression. Just 2 campaigns ago, their XG per 90 stood at 2.4, and while they won the Champions League that season, they finished 3rd in La Liga, 3 points ahead of Valencia. Furthermore, Real spent €205 million on 3 forwards this summer, so it's no surprise that fans are disappointed with the team's current output. Just like last season, Karim Benzema is doing his best to paper over the cracks, with 15 goals in all competitions so far, with no other player scoring more than twice in the league at the time of recording. Eden Hazard and Luka Jovic were brought in to help rejuvenate an attack blunted by the sale of Ronaldo in 2018, but so far they aren't making a big enough impact, managing just 3 goal involvements between them in over 800 combined league minutes. And while Jovic is very much a long-term investment, Hazard turns 29 in January and so needs to stop producing quickly to justify his €100 million price tag. The Belgian maestro started the campaign injured and since returning has a goal and an assist to his name in the league. However, he is already overperforming significantly in this department, with his expected goals and assists per 90 currently coming in at a woeful 0.27. And it's no surprise, Hazard is taking 0.9 shots per 90, which is not only less than a third of his average last season, but is also a career low, and even worse than what midfielder Federico Valverde is managing. Add to that 1.6 key passes a game, again his worst ever showing, and these are worrying times for a man widely considered as one of the world's best. If Hazard is unable to recreate his Chelsea form at the Bernabeu, this will be money down the drain for Florentino Perez, and Zidane's efforts to get Los Blancos back to their best will take a major knock. Before we move on to our next section, just a little reminder to subscribe to EFD if you haven't already and hit that notification bell so you don't miss another great video. 4. Promote youth. Perhaps the biggest story to come out of the Bernabeu in recent weeks is Rodrigo's outstanding start to life in the Champions League. The 18-year-old marked his 2nd appearance in the competition with a perfect hat-trick from the right wing at Galatasaray, prompting many to dub him the new Neymar. The young Brazilian now has 5 goals and 1 assist in all competitions, contributing to a goal every 62 minutes, which isn't far off Lionel Messi's current average. And while this kind of form is probably unsustainable, the early signs are very promising, with Rodrigo's expected goals and assists per 90 currently standing at 1.06. So on the face of it, it looks like Zinedine Zidane is doing a rather good job of integrating young players into his side, especially when you consider that Vinicius Jr. and the aforementioned Valverde are also getting decent minutes. However, he has even more talent out on loan, and evidence suggests they would be of use to his project. The most obvious of these is Martin Odegaard, whose last appearance for the club came back in 2016, when he was just 17. After a stellar season on loan at Vitesse, the now 20-year-old is back in La Liga with Real Sociedad, where he has already clocked up nearly 1,000 league minutes. The attacking midfielder has adapted well to life in a tougher league, already contributing to 5 goals and is creating 2.5 chances a game, better than anyone in the Madrid squad bar Toni Kroos. Meanwhile, Achraf Hakimi is continuing to impress at Borussia Dortmund. Naturally a right-back, the versatile 21-year-old has also been deployed further forward and on the left this season, and he has been electric. He has already scored 6 goals, with 4 coming in the Champions League, and is completing 3.2 dribbles a match. Furthermore, he's managed to marry this outstanding attacking output with superb defensive numbers, currently averaging 3.9 tackles and interceptions per 90. With world-class potential waiting in the wings, Los Blancos already have players who can form the spine of a future Champions League winning team. And given how well they're performing at the moment, there's no reason Hakimi or Odegaard shouldn't be brought back to the Bernabeu in the next 12 months. 3. Fix the defence. The beginning of the 2018-19 campaign has seen goalkeeper Thibaut Courtois become public enemy #1 for Real Madrid fans. Since arriving at the Bernabeu in 2018, the Belgian keeper has struggled to find the kind of form which landed him the Premier League Golden Gloves a year earlier, and this has continued into the new season, with 5 goals conceded in 4 Champions League fixtures. Furthermore, the former Chelsea man is putting up just 1.6 saves for every goal he lets in, a big step down from his average of 2 during the 2016-17 campaign, and not a patch on the 3.5 sustained by Atleti stopper Jan Oblak. However, putting all the blame at the door of Courtois is not wise. So far in 2019-20, Real are conceding 1.1 expected goals against per 90, a figure which they are actually slightly outperforming when it comes to goals they are actually letting in. This suggests that really the keeper position is not the main problem. Instead, it's the fact they are gifting too many good chances to the opposition. Los Blancos have looked particularly bad defensively on the left, and this has much to do with the decline of Marcelo, who really is a shadow of his former self. The Brazilian is making just 2.3 tackles and interceptions a game, his worst tally in a white jersey, despite Zidane's side ceding more possession in matches than they have in the previous 2 seasons, with 55.5%. Luckily, the solution is already there. Ferland Mendy, despite his recent injury, is ready to take Marcelo's place. The 24-year-old Frenchman won the ball back 2.8 times a match last season in a Lyon side which averaged over 58% possession, and also impressed on the attacking end, creating 1.4 chances per 90. And he has improved on that this campaign. In fairly limited minutes, Mendy has been excellent defensively, making an outstanding 4.3 tackles and interceptions a game and winning 100% of his attempted tackles. There are certainly other areas of that back line that need addressing, namely a long-term replacement for Sergio Ramos, who turns 34 next year, and the right-back position should Carvajal revert back to the poor form he showed last season. But integrating Mendy fully into the starting 11 would be a positive first step in making the Merengues' defence elite again. 2. Replace Modric. While last year's Ballon d'Or was not a clear reflection of the order of the world's best players, after all Lionel Messi finished 5th, you couldn't help feel Luka Modric's win was deserved in some respect. The beating heart of a Real Madrid side which won 4 Champions Leagues in 5 years and an inspirational captain who led Croatia to a historic World Cup final, Modric will go down as one of the most complete midfielders of the modern era. But the former Tottenham man is clearly nearing the end of his career at the top level. Now 34, Modric has already been absent from 6 games this season through injury, matching his total games missed for the previous 2.5 seasons, and even when he has been fit, it's clear he's in decline. The deep-lying playmaker now loses the ball 2.6 times per 90, up from 2.1 in 2017-18, and is also completing less than half the tackles he attempts for the first time in his career. With Modric aging out fast and Real's midfield suffering considerably for it, a world-class replacement is needed, and an ideal candidate would be PSG's Marco Verratti. Having recently turned 27, the Italian is already the finished product, and the fact he's been included in the Liga and Team of the Season in all 7 of the campaigns he's contested in France only underlines what a consistently brilliant player he has been at the Parc des Princes. Verratti is making 4.2 tackles and interceptions a game in 2019-20, better than anyone in the Madrid squad bar Casemiro and Mendy. This is even more impressive given PSG average 63% possession a game and already have Idrissa Gueye doing most of the mopping up in midfield. There's also a reason why he's called the metronome, as he completes 83.4 passes a game, more than anyone else in the French top flight. What's more, the former Pescara man hasn't signed a contract extension with Les Parisiens since 2016, and his current deal runs out in less than 2 years. This means he's valued at a reasonable €50 million, a snip compared to the kind of figures quoted for Zidane favourite Paul Pogba. The Real hierarchy could do a lot worse than get a deal like this over the line, a totally risk-free investment which can help restore the club's midfield to its former glory. 1. Find Zidane's successor. So far, all of our suggestions to turn Real Madrid back into European champions have revolved around the need for the general rejuvenation of the side. But whether the current man in charge at the Bernabeu is the best candidate to carry out this transformation is another matter. When Zidane first took his place in the Bernabeu dugout in January 2016, he inherited a squad with an average age of 23.8, which had won the Champions League 2 years before. And while his achievement of guiding Los Blancos to a further 3 UCL triumphs in 3 years is nothing short of remarkable, the fact remains he did it with a side which was already comfortably one of, if not the best in the world on paper. The average age of the Merengues squad is now 26, and while this is hardly reason for alarm, it does highlight how many key squad members are aging out. Meanwhile, Zidane has only limited experience of developing young talent, and this is his first real shot at squad building. So far, it hasn't gone particularly well. In the Frenchman's first stint in charge, he won an astonishing 70% of his games, just slightly less than what Jose Mourinho managed during his highly successful stint with the club. But since returning to the Bernabeu in March 2019, Zidane has sustained a disappointing win ratio of 52%. For context, Mourinho entered his spell at Man United with a 58% win rate. The obvious choice to take Zidane's place would be Mauricio Pochettino, and now could be the perfect time. The Argentinian coach is enduring his worst spell yet at White Hart Lane, and if he isn't backed further in the transfer market, he would be well within his rights to consider his options. The former Espanyol manager has been remarkable in North London, helping modernise the club both on and off the field, despite maintaining a net spend of just €110 million over his 5 years in the dugout. At their peak, Poch's Spurs led the Premier League for shots per game, ahead of Pep's Man City and Klopp's Liverpool. In fact, they were also beating Zidane's Real in that department, and they won the Liga and Champions League double that season. In just 5 years, Pochettino has turned Tottenham into a club that has not only developed some of Europe's best players, but is also now attracting some of the continent's greatest talents. Stick him at Madrid, and we could see the world's most prestigious club embark on a glorious new path. So those were 5 ways we reckon Real Madrid can get back to the very top, but what did you make of it? Let us know in the comments below, especially if you have any suggestions yourself. If you enjoyed this, why not go and check out Stat Wars? And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.